Okay, folks, it's 12 January. I'm going to take off the lovely Miss Katie, who is there doing facial something or the other. You can see we had snow, and now we're back to her. 21 December 1866, this battle, the Fetterman Fight. And Miss Katie, tell me about the Fetterman Fight.
I don't know what to tell you.
Everyone died.
Oh, everyone died.
And were we ever there?
Yes.
We went there because Miss Katie said, well, let's go up into Wyoming and go to some battlefields you want to go to. Honest to God, my wife said that.
Twist my arm.
Yep, I had to twist her arm and say, well, I'll take you to an all-American restaurant today.
Yeah, McDonald's.
We went to McDonald's. But we actually walked the battlefield. Miss Katie walked a piece of the Bozeman Trail, which we're going to go to the map for a second, off Miss Katie. We walked this whole area, and we walked down through there. Miss Katie, of course, stayed up on the high ground. But how heavy is the game box, Miss Katie?
No, it's really not.
It's really not, is it? It's a small little kind of bookcase game, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Show them how thick it is on the side. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
So, but yeah, we actually walked this one, and that same day we went to go to the wagon box fight. But it was cool there this morning. There was frost on the ground when we went there in May. In fact, we might have even been there for her birthday, because we know how to celebrate birthdays in our family. So we're looking forward to this. This game was sent to us via Jack Green, who we wouldn't have known of this game if not for Jack Green. And Martin Anderson is the designer of it, and he said he wanted to design a massacre game. So, light game. You've seen the initial, as I'm scanning here, and then we'll get to the actual game. So, we know what she's always supposed to do.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
All right, folks, we're going to fool around a bit today. See, I'm wagging at Miss Katie. I'm going to ask her to sometimes go to 3 on some things. So, let's go ahead and go to 3 for counters, miss.
Well, that's big.
How does that work?
It
doesn't.
It doesn't. It's
Okay,
too
let's
big.
go back to 1 then.
Okay.
How does that look, Miss Katie?
That's better if I put my elbows on the table.
Okay, I wasn't thrilled with these counters at first. But I'm going to ask Miss Katie now to kind of go over to the map and have the counters. How does that? Those counters are much more compelling on the map, aren't they? They pop on the map, but by themselves they're not so interesting. So, okay, I found this map compelling because it's very winter looking, because the Fetterman Fight was in the winter. So I like the winter look, and also the hexes are big hexes. Now, how many units can you stack in a hex? Well, you can stack 10 units, and the units are individual soldiers. What's wrong, Miss Katie?
Well, I can see the map, but you're not in the picture.
That's kind of okay.
Oh, okay.
People would rather look at you than me. So.
Okay, I was hoping I wasn't doing something wrong.
Okay, and thank you for telling me that, Miss Katie. But 10 units can be in a hex. Well, units are soldiers here. Soldiers or horses, and a soldier and a horse is 2 units. So that it kind of makes it interesting here. Now you look along the side over here, and let's see if we can go to. You can see here, these are the individual groups.
You want me to try to go to 3?
Yeah, go to 3, Miss Katie, and see what happens. You can see that there are individual groups. Okay. For the various commands. So, the U.S. player controls a total of 81 players here. Well, actually, 81 soldiers. The Sioux controls 30 groups and 12 individual warriors who keep getting recycled through the game. The U.S. player does not kill anyone. All he does is, on the fire table, he tries to drive them away because he wants to survive 5, 10, 12 turns and hope that Captain Eck gets there to relieve them. Well, good luck with that. The Sioux fire, then move, and melee. Melee in games of this ilk is often tiresome and not much fun. When I looked at it here, it's a little involved, but not as involved as many games of its ilk. And what I like here is that it seems kind of streamlined in his approach. If you didn't fire and you didn't move, you can melee. So, okay, fire or melee. Those are your options, and it's the same thing for the U.S. player. What's also interesting, and Miss Katie will like this, is that Anderson has a mechanism for capturing horses, because horses are both status and wealth. And it allows you to move your squaw and your TP and all your worldly goods easier as well. Makes it easier than walking. U.S. fire, as we talk again, doesn't inflict casualty. And you gotta like this. You gotta like the colorful setup, and of course here's the cavalry. The colorful setup mechanism that's done here. And of course here's the poor infantry. The poor infantry sets up over here. Now, there are detailed and solid victory conditions throughout the game. Good luck with winning, but Anderson has a bit of a dry sense of humor here, and I'm going to read to you a little bit of his levels of victory. U.S. levels of victory, least to best. Mounted officers, this there were some technical difficulties, because you know how much we monetize and get paid for all this. Nothing. We were talking about horses here, and then we were talking about the victory conditions and Anderson's sense of humor. Anderson's sense of humor, levels of victory, for in case I'm repeating myself, and if I am, well, bear with me. Mounted officers, this really a win. Court-martial, for sure, followed by ostracism, alcoholism, and early death. And that sounds like Major Reno after the Little Bighorn, because his career kind of went to the toilet, and he was seen as a peeping Tom. But how to win? After all the Sioux have been removed from the map at turn 10, the U.S. player wins if they have formed a perfect defense or exited one or more soldiers from any exit on the east map edge. Good luck. Good luck, because you can mount it 2 hexes a turn, if dismount at 1 hex per turn. Well, 30 Indian groups, lots of individual warriors. Good luck trying to get off the map, I think. And as Anderson says in his rule 17, designer notes, this is a massacre game. I've always wanted to design a true massacre game. And he said it's also a contemplation of leadership. And I have to agree with him on that one, because Fetterman, who is allegedly attributed to saying, I can ride through the entire Sioux Nation. I could ride through the entire Sioux Nation with 80 men. Well, he certainly rode into the whole Sioux Nation, it seems, and he died. So, what are we left here? I think there's a thumbs up for good components. I think the map is just stellar. I like the map. The counters are so-so until you put the counters on the map, and then they pop. I was surprised. It took me the day to look at it and finally say that. play seems easy, a little detailed perhaps, but not as bad. And I know we're repeating ourselves, but I come back to this because it's one reason I stay away from games of this type often, is that the melee factor just overwhelms me, or perhaps it bores me. It would bore Miss Katie, and I think I trend towards the Miss Katie side, that melee bores me. It looks like a fun challenge to me. We will get to this game. It's third in line. We have to do the last scenario of Festung Stalingrad. Then we have to move to a North Atlantic World War III game, and then this game. So this is 3 away, and this is a non-teaching one, folks. I can actually do more. The only problem is the twins. The twins require some time, and Fuzz, who still is hanging in there, Fuzz requires a certain amount of time. Our kitty, who is
Dying.
Dying of terminal cancer, but has gamely held on from Rainbow Bridge longer than the vet thought, and longer than perhaps we thought. He gets a lot of special food, and he gets a lot of liquid food, and Miss Katie makes him special things, so we're trying to keep him going. But so there you have it, folks. I'll give you a quick look at the counters here afterwards, and a quick close-up from me on the map, but we'll be back to you in a minute, folks, because after I do that, then I gotta get puppies out to go pee and poop. So thanks, folks, and Miss Katie thanks you as always too, and I thank her for her efforts as she does this for free. Thanks. All right, folks, individual counters. You see the individual counters: Fire Thunder, He Dog, American Horse, Crazy Horse, White Bull. So 12 individual warriors. You have here your fired counters to show what units have fired or not. You have, well, you got your dead soldiers here. And you kind of make change with things here. People who are in flight, the individual infantry soldiers, the individual cavalry soldiers. And let's look close at the map. This is close at the map. What do you think, folks? I like it. Maybe you won't, but I do. And of course, here are your group areas. So, and your turn record track and your casualty track. So there you have it, folks. We'll get to this soon. And of course, a close up the game cover. And let's look at the back. Pretty simple. Almost looks like a Bill Molyneux type game. Pretty easy. What do you think, folks? Okay. As always, we thank you for your time.